Now regarding a question that if hypothetically you rape a girl and you murder her, and if the court of law in this world cannot prove, and then you truly repent, will Allah forgive you? And you say most probably Allah will forgive you, and you're right. Now coming to your second question, that is this not injustice to the girl who was raped and murdered? And I would say no. Because both the person who raped is undergoing a test in this world, the person who was raped also is undergoing a test. And let me explain to you that Allah has given guidelines to the woman that they should dress up modestly, they should cover the complete body, except those parts can be seen, that is the face. Now if after giving all this guidance, and hypothetically, if that girl doesn't dress up modestly, she is dressed up immorally, which people get excited and the rape is done, who's to blame? It is the girl to blame.
I want to ask you something. If this will be our mentality, how do we expect to protect women when they really get raped, get abused? If we normalize this kind of mentality, how do we expect them to, go to police, go to their families, tell their families? So it is not a coincidence that in all the countries, all the Islamic countries, we see these crazy cases where a Muslim woman, all covered, still gets raped, and on top of that, they get ashamed, and the rapists don't get any punishment at all. These are not coincidences. We hear the same thing from Muslims every day. In a true Sharia, the rapist would get a death sentence. But it is not a coincidence that it never turns out that way. Because of the sociology your mentality created. How do you expect these girls to go to the police, go to their families, if you completely normalize that? Rape, if you are getting raped, if someone rapes you, it's because you didn't dress properly. If you are getting raped, you didn't dress properly. It is your fault. Somehow it is your fault. It was your responsibility to not make them want you. So if they wanted you, it is your fault. If we normalize this, if in a society we normalize this, think about in that society, how would react families happening this to their daughters. They were in a case where, what will neighbors say? In this neighborhood, everyone will hear that our daughter didn't dress properly. So it is not a coincidence that in the Islamic countries, despite what Muslims keep saying, you get the death sentence for raping someone, but in every time we see some case like that, it is generally something like that girl is abused all their lives, a physical and psychological abuse. Their freedom taken from them. They live like a slave, and then on top of that, they get raped, and on top of that, they are still ashamed. They are the one who is punished. That's what we see generally. Why is that? Why don't we see? How can this happen if it is so goddamn easy to just kill the rapist? Why don't you just kill the rapist? Because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It is not a coincidence that we see these cases. Like an 16-year-old Iranian girl gets raped multiple times. And as a result, she gets the death penalty. That's how it works. That's how it works in reality. So enough with this copium. Okay, enough with this bullshit. When this is your mentality, this society, this sociology, this mentality creates in that mentality, in the sociology that mentality creates, you will see that women are always getting these horrible results. It is not a coincidence. It's not surprise. Okay? This is the reality of it. So get over yourselves. How do you expect? If this is our mentality, oh, you didn't, it is your test to, didn't. Okay, so how will a family with that mentality will react when their daughter gets raped? Just forget about those idealized stories in your mind. Come to the reality. How does all those Muslim families react? Oh, what they will think, what will the other ones think? In that society, in that kind of society, do you think it is a coincidence that they are trying to marry that girl who is raped with their rapist? Huh? Because its reason comes from that mentality. In that kind of mentality, a woman who is raped, no man will want them. For example, no man will want them. And why? Because they are immoral. Because they probably, didn't dress properly. So they are immoral. And then families get ashamed. Families are afraid of, what will other neighbors think. Most of the time, there are more complicated, more dramatic scenarios, more aggressive scenarios. Families are afraid too much because they get too much backlash because of those things. So as a result, they are more paranoid about, and as a result, they always punish. Always, the girl gets the punishment. The girl gets the negative results. On top of getting raped. On top of getting raped without doing anything wrong. Sorry, of course. What is wrong to get raped? It's never your fault, but you get what I'm saying. They actually dressed properly and they still get raped, even in hijab, even in complete black outfit, they still get raped. We have statistics. It doesn't protect women. So keep telling yourselves those stories. It doesn't protect women. That's the reality of it. Anyway, so they get raped, and on top of that, they are ashamed. They must have done something. They must have, opened their head, shoved a top of their toe, something, smiled at that man. Yeah. So in that society, families or people will think that, yeah, the girl must have done something because you normalize that. Yeah, because you normalize this. You normalize that. Oh, you got raped because you didn't dress properly. So you almost identify getting raped and being wanted with doing something to make them want you. And so it is not a coincidence that in all these countries, it is always those girls' fault. and they get punished.